Hi guys, welcome back to another Excel demonstration video. This is Will. In this video, I want to show you guys how you can create a pivot table using a table, right? And then in the second half, I want to show you guys how you can populate a pivot table to show across our different products and across the different periods what the 1 year rate of return is across those 5 periods. Okay, so let's get started. So to create a pivot table in Excel, when it's formatted as a table, we start off by selecting some value on our table. If it wasn't formatted as a table, we would have to select the entire range of values that makes up our table range here. But because it's a table, we can just select a value on the table. So let's go up and select Insert, and next Pivot Table. Okay. If you've got somewhere in mind that you think you should put the presentation, the pivot table, select existing worksheet and then specify the location. If you are fine with Excel creating a new sheet, then select new worksheet here. So let's hit OK. So for those of you that haven't seen a pivot table before, we've got a pivot table here created on the left-hand side, and we're able, in the pivot table field settings here, able to populate this pivot table with the different settings that the different fields, that we would like to populate it with. Okay. So we would like to know for our 5 products across 5 different time periods, what the 1 year rate of return looks like. Okay. So we're going to have rows, say, that are our periods. That are our products, Our columns are going to be our periods, and then the values that we have are going to be the 1 year rate of return. Okay. So let's start by dragging our product name into the rows. Okay. So dragging product name into the rows. And now all of the products that are in our initial table have now appeared here. We don't care about all of them. Really, what we care about is only the 5 products that we have. So to select your 5 products, if you come up here to row labels, select this drop down arrow, you can unselect all of the values and then reselect the values that are your table or that you've been assigned. Okay. So for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to select these 5 here and just hit OK. So now we've got a pivot table. It's only got these 5 products. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to drag in the periods into the column. Okay. Dragging the periods into the column. And now we see, once we drag the periods into the column, because the period is formatted as a short date, it's also created the years, quarters, and months, because these are all bits of data that get collected in the short date format. But we don't care about all of these. We only care about the period. So let's drag out our years, quarters, and months, just so we're left with the period. Okay. So now we see we have an empty table that's looking at our 5 products across the 5 different periods. Okay. We're now ready to drag in the value that we would like to have a look at. So the value that we would like to see how it changes over time is the 1 year rate of return. So we're going to drag that into our values. Now, the default selection for what it's going to show now is how many observations does it see for all of the different cross sections, right? So for our accumulation high growth fund, for the 3rd quarter of 2022, it's only got 1 observation. Okay, makes sense. For each of our products, there's only 1 observation in each quarter. So making sense so far. But we don't care about the frequency that we're seeing each of these observations. We care about what the value of that observation is. So if we go down here to our values, the count of 1 year rate of return, we're going to select this drop down arrow and then value field settings. Okay. Once we select value field settings, we need to change it from the count to something that's going to display the value. Okay. Now the sum, the average, the max, or the min, or the product are all going to show the same value because there's only one value to display. Okay. So I'm going to change this to sum, but you could change it to any of these as long as you've got one observation here. So I'm going to change it to sum and hit OK. All right. So for our 5 products, this is how these values are changing between the 5 different time periods. Okay. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.